Hey folks, so we have Radhey with us today. And some of you would already know that we have, through the AI product leadership program with Talvinder, Radhey has launched our first in-house, in-built, his own product onto Product Hunt. And super excited to see how it's going. Would love to hear more about it. So Radhe, why don't you first give us a little bit brief about what the product was about and, talk to everybody here as to what sets it apart and what's your key USP, which essentially is all about the marketing aspect of you building the product. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So actually, we started on the ideas to consider for building a product as part of the course. There were quite a few ideas, and then I wanted to pick up one that I face either myself or my team members in my full-time job. I just wanted to be close to those problems and solve them rather than, picking up some problem that's out there that I have no, relationship with, because I would not be in those shoes more, uh, you know, empathetically. So I wanted to focus on the problem that I have faced in the past, and I see that people facing in my day-to-day work. And that's where we, narrowed down on building a developer assistant. And now, as we know, like these technical products are focusing around AI. And that's where these two things come together, building a developer assistant, which is powered by AI. And one of the other things that I have faced is that some of the developers that I am working with, they use Visual Studio, and then if they face any issues, they need to go to Google, search it in terms of what are the errors that they are getting, or how to write unit tests, for example, or how to better the code in terms of the design patterns and all. And I wanted to remove this distraction altogether from their workflow, from their journey. And that's where, like, taking that entire experience from Google search and basically the assistant, developer assistant that we use outside the Visual Studio environment, I wanted to embed that within the Visual Studio itself. And that's where the product that I have built, and it's called Radhey AI Developer Assistant, and which is a Visual Studio extension. So install it in Visual Studio. You can get help on some predefined tasks like debugging build errors, or getting help on writing unit tests, improving some part of your code, or writing comments in the code to explain it better. All those tasks, and you can also ask follow-up questions right then and there itself within Visual Studio environment, so that you can stay focused on the work that you are doing without these distractions and enhance your productivity.
So the key metric, from what I'm understanding, is essentially productivity or
Yes.
efficiency, or you could say the amount of maybe the tasks that are assigned to the developer, the completion rate within a particular sprint, right?
Yes.
So your
Yeah.
sprint burn, essentially, you're trying to target these key issues, which as a product manager, you found is a problem at the end of the
Yeah.
day as a pain point for these guys. Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Because, what I usually end up seeing is there are so many product managers out there who think about, like okay, what is my environment and what are the problems in my environment? But it's never, geared towards the developer side so much, right? It's usually more geared, how do I maybe make the marketing teams, segmentation tool more proficient? Maybe the B2C app, of course, for B2C companies, or maybe it has a platform for my end customer as a B2B SaaS platform. What do I do? But this is a fascinating problem statement that you've taken, I have to say. Yeah. So where the inspiration came from your surroundings, right? But what is it that while you were going through the curriculum, which you felt kind of contributed to this final output that you are achieving right now? Because this is sort of the last leg of the entire course, right?
Yeah.
With Pragmatic Leaders and with 𝗲𝗏𝗀𝗃, right? So what are those elements in the curriculum that you felt led you to this? What is your general feedback on the curriculum? What do you think maybe could be improved?
Okay. So I think there are a few aspects that I would want to call out here. One is obviously the regular classes over the weekend that we used to have, and that helped me, and I believe others in the class, be more disciplined and take those lessons and the concepts that we learned in the classes, digest it over the period of the first 2 to 3 months, and then getting into developing the product. So I think the first 2 to 3 months were set up as kind of a baseline so that the theoretical concepts are well digested. And there are two things. Like I did one course with 𝗲𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗃 in 2018, and that was focused on product development, product management. The difference between that, and this is an extension to that, that's the way I see it, is that this is more focused on building AI products. And nowadays, the process of product development, so the process itself is pretty exhaustive, and sometimes you might need some tools which can help you during the product development journey. And the tools were, the material was, I think the material that was provided was it helped me shape up the product well, starting with user research. And that's where it's not just about, I think, like you end up building something, it's about that journey. Okay. You get into a mindset to ask questions. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? First, identify the problem. If you're just focusing on the solutions, like I have this idea, brilliant, good idea, amazing idea, and then just should get onto it, start building it, and then like it will become $1 million product. I don't think it works that way. Most of the people, like maybe, I don't want to put a number, but most of the failures of products or companies or startups come from building these hypothetical products which don't have an underlying or baseline problem to solve. So you solved something, but that problem didn't really exist. It was not a pain point for customers. So that's where the material, the mindset that was put through the journey of the course, even in the previous course, that you should identify the problem first. And the other things that helped is these weekend discussions that we had, refining the ideas. And then the other things is like, okay, you have 3 ideas, you choose one, but is it doable over the course of 4 weekends? Because that's when we get to work. Weekdays, most of us have full-time jobs.
Sure.
We didn't get much time. And then can you take the product through this entire journey, starting from user research, building personas, and then identifying the user journey that you want to work on, and then maybe like one use case that you want to solve to get it started with. Maybe you can have future enhancements, but one use case that you want to solve, so that you make a release. And that's the biggest challenge, making first release. The later ones that just probably follow, but the first release is the biggest challenge. So through these discussions and the group that was there, the mechanism that was put, these weekend classes where we come discuss about the ideas, and ask questions. Talvinder used to ask questions, raise flags, and the other folks used to raise those questions and flags. Is it viable? Is it doable in these 3-4 weekends that we have? Or are we shooting for too much? Can we narrow down the scope?
Sure.
So these discussions, the guidance that I have received from Talvinder, and the course material, in fact, that was put up, those things really helped in narrowing down, or I would say focusing on what problem statement that we can focus on, so that we can develop or complete this product in these 3-4 weeks. And the other thing is the push, or kind of the push for deadlines. Like you should set up a deadline and then release the product. That's called ship. I think there's a term called shipping mindset for it.
Yep.
But
there's a fantastic book also on it, Ship It. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that mindset is needed. And it was like, I think as part of the community, as part of the course, students and Talvinder put together, when we used to meet, we used to follow up, and then you're answerable. Like if you put up a plan, and if others are putting energy and others are providing you feedback, it becomes your responsibility to, justify that. Don't just take it for granted that these are just usual classes. So I think that environment, mentorship, guidance, and the feedback, the discussions in the class, those things were really helpful. The material, of course, were really helpful in first learning the concept of product management, and then in the context of AI especially, and then building it. So yeah.